Hello everybody, it is Marmaduke Michael, and today is the last day of my junior year. Was the last day of my junior year. I'm out of school for the summer. What? That is invaluable. Different wording. Anyway, as always, I kind of reflect back on the year for this finale, but I will be talking about today. So today, in the morning, we went into an assembly, and we got awards and stuff, and this is the first year I didn't get any awards because, well, I usually get perfect attendance. Didn't have perfect attendance, had that Hollywood trip. Way worth it, though. I don't really care about the perfect attendance award, but that Hollywood trip is something I will remember for the rest of my life. Oh, blessed. That's where I got this little guy in a claw machine. Video coming soon. Then, after all of that, everyone was just kind of signing each other's yearbooks. And this is the first year that we've actually had yearbooks before the end of the school year. And I know I've been complaining about that. I'm not sure in the videos, but I've been complaining about that at school because we didn't get everything in the year in it. But we got a bunch of signing stuff, and that was fun. It was just like an hour or two just hanging out and signing, and it was a lot, and it was fun. And then after that, we just kind of went up on the field and had field day, and I didn't really do anything except for walk around, judge the competition that I was supposed to judge, even though everybody else was judging it anyway, because that's where the most people were, and so it didn't really matter that I was there. And so I went with my friend to Wendy's and got food, and then we had lunch there on the field, and we were just kind of running around. I was playing soccer, just kind of kicking the soccer ball around with one of my friends, and then we just kind of hung out for a few more hours, started cleaning stuff up. I felt like I was on that Amazing Race challenge where they had to get the chickens and the coconuts, where they had to like hold a bunch of stuff and like make a few trips, because that's what we did. I picked up 2 giant things of like Coke and Pepsi and stuff, and it was very hard, and I'm still feeling it right now because it was so heavy, but I did it, and I was like, yeah, I would survive Amazing Race. No, I probably wouldn't, because that like killed my arms for today and maybe tomorrow. But then after that, I went home. That was today. Let's go back and do a year in review. This is how it works. I'm gonna go through all my classes, kind of talk about that class/teacher thing, and let's just have some fun, relax, unwind. It's the last day of school. Let's not worry about stuff. So, my creative writing class lasted all year, and it was actually a better class than I thought it would be. I was annoyed at the very beginning of the year because on my schedule it didn't have anything for that first hour, and I was like, oh nice, I get a study hall in the first hour of the day. I can relax, maybe catch up on a bit of sleep sometimes, do some homework, study for a test that day. And then I got into school the first day and I was like, oh, I have a class here. That kind of sucks, but oh well. And over the course of the year, I've grown more attached to that class because it actually wasn't awful. So yay, awesome. So that was fun, especially closer to the end of the year where we actually started doing like a bunch of bigger projects. Like at the beginning of the year it was so easy, and then it just kind of progressively got harder, which I guess is how classes should be, but I didn't really expect it for this one. I expected it to be moderately the same every semester, quarter, whatever, and it just kind of got, like, the first year and a half, it was like, yeah, and then, like, the last bit, where we had, like, 3 projects, and it's like, what? That's insane! And it wasn't as bad as I made it seem. Like, I listened to some podcasts while I was doing it. It was like, let's catch up on some podcasts, music, or whatever. It was nice. Then after that, apologetics, which I know a lot of people have been complaining about this class, and one of my classes later on. I'll get to that when I get there. But this class, I didn't hate it. It was like, it was a good de-stressor, you know? Like, it's like, oh no, I have a test next period, what am I gonna do? And then in that class, it's like, all your worries just kind of go away for a little bit. It's very relaxing, we had lots of fun. Valentine's Day was still like the best day in that class just because of how relaxing and awesome and chill it was. It was just, that was a day that I'll never forget because that was just a really good day. Then after that, I'm trying to think of last semester, I had Spanish after that class last semester, which Spanish last semester, because my Spanishes are 2 different Spanishes. What? Last semester, it was amazing. Like, I loved all the students like helped each other work together. They, commentary on the stuff, and then the teacher was like sometimes listening in, and she's like, yeah, that was funny, that was a laugh, that was funny, it's a joke. I'm like, she can take a joke. And it was fun class, and it was just a lot of fun. The teacher like helped us out when we needed help. Like when there was a test, she would actually like nudge us in the right direction. And the Spanish 1, that was just a great class. And the final, she like gave us food, like as we were leaving, she was like, hey, have a great Christmas break. Here's like, I can't remember what it was. It was like a cake, like a slice of cake slash some special flavored bread thing. You guys know what I mean. And then she was like, hey, have a good Christmas break. See you guys in a few weeks around the hallways and stuff. And then after that, I had geometry. Geometry was insanely hard closer to the beginning of the year because it's just so overwhelming for me. I'm not good at math, or really any class for that matter, but I'm really not good at math because I just don't understand the concepts. Like, at least for English, I understand how everything works. I might get things wrong, but I understand how it works. Math, it's like another language, which ties into Spanish too, but, you know, and it's like another language, and it's just crazy hard to wrap my mind around because some of these things is just, I don't know how they became into existence. How did somebody think of this, and how did that become like a universal standard? What? That's insane. But it was a fun class closer to the end of the year because I got a tutor and the class just wasn't as insanely difficult. So that's good class, and I would say good class. I'm trying to think of what I had next. English, literature or something like that. It was an amazing class. I loved it. I looked forward to it every single day. Before the school year, I was super scared because I got the email from the teacher and then everything was super strict and scary, and I was like, oh no, this class is gonna be so scary and hard and I'm gonna die. And it wasn't at all. Like, it was just that class was a great class, and I am so glad that I was in that class when I was, because if I wasn't, I might not have gone on the Hollywood trip. And if that app, We Dragons, that app, new level of stuff happened because of that app. So thank you, app. It's good stuff that came from that. I think. I like to tell myself this because it's like, okay, maybe. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into that. That's another topic for another time, and that was semester 1. Quarters 1 and 2. Fun times. And then, let's fast forward past Christmas break with all the Star Wars stuff happening, and then Xenoblade that came out, and so much stuff happened. Oh my goodness, this was such a good year! Then, in January, we went back to school. And creative writing and apologetics were the same, but then after apologetics, I went to government class, which I was so scared about government because I've heard, like, in the course description, and even on the first day, he said it's going to get super controversial, you're going to have to, like, express your views in, like, debates and stuff, and I was like, oh no, that's scary, I don't want to debate because I'm super chill about everything. And I'll just be like, wow, that's a good point. That's a valid perspective. I am okay with our differences. It's like, oh no, he's gonna make us argue, and I can't really do that because I've never been able to do that. And then that never happened, so. And that was also a good de-stressing class. Like, I don't know, it's like, fought away stress. And even when there was a test or quiz in that class, it's like, oh no, stress. But not really, because he always helped us out, and it's like, yeah, it's awesome class. I wish I could say that about this next class. Spanish 2 was one of the worst classes I've had in my life. It was just such a bad class, and I know I probably shouldn't be saying this on the internet, but whatever, it doesn't really matter because there's always, like, everyone understands that there's always something in life that people don't like, and I'm just being honest and stuff. So, yeah, honesty is the best policy, right? When my future boss watches this, he'll be like, wow, that Michael guy, he's super honest, and he'll tell me if something goes wrong, I'll hire him. Right? That's how honesty goes, right? Like, anyway, this Spanish class, I never looked forward to this class ever, not even on a single day. This class always put me in a bad, sour mood. No matter how awesome I went into this class, no matter how happy I was, when I came out of it, I was on the verge of tears, and I couldn't wait to leave. It was just a bad class. The class itself, like the students, they wouldn't really ever be quiet. It wasn't like the Spanish 1 class where it's like, wow, this is like commentary that's helping us improving our academics and being happy and joking sometimes, but also giving us tips and tricks on how to remember stuff. This commentary was just bad. It was like the same thing over and over and over and over again. Like quotes, just repeating the same quotes over and over and over again. Like, hey, this person said a quote. This other person said a quote. That's the same quote as that person, but better voice for the character. And then this person said the quote again. No, that's not how quotes work. If you're gonna say a quote, then other one's gonna be like, oh, I like that show or whatever. I'm gonna do another quote from that show, and then maybe do that, but no. It's just, I'm trying to think of a class in that class, like a day, that it wasn't absolutely awful. And I can think of a few, but even then, I still, like, was on the verge of crying and wanting to go home. So that was just a bad class that I will never take again, and I will never recommend it to anybody. I signed up for Latin, I didn't get Latin. That's the only thing that I'm thinking of. That's the only thing I thought of in that class. I was like, okay, I signed up for Latin. I shouldn't really be here, but here I am because they canceled Latin this year, even though when I signed up for it, there was a class, and that year that I signed up for it, there was a class, and the next year they pushed me into Spanish, and there was not a Latin class, so they pushed me into Spanish, and it's just bad class that I wouldn't recommend taking, and I survived it, and it's in the past, and it doesn't matter anymore, so that's just something so brings joy to my heart that I'm not taking that class anymore. It was just such a bad class. It was awful. Okay, there goes that. Then after that, lunchtime, which was the same all year, hanging out with friends, eating food, watching Steven Universe. It was great. And then history. It's the final class of junior year. And I know lots of people are complaining about it, but I don't hate this class as much as Spanish, and I don't really hate this class at all. I actually, like, I didn't enjoy it, but like out of all the classes that I've taken, it would probably be in a higher tier just because I didn't hate anything about the class. There was only one student that I didn't really like because they always made like rude remarks about everything, and then I was sitting right by him, so I would get in trouble for those rude remarks. Not really like in trouble, but kind of trouble by association, because he's like, hey everyone, be quiet, and I was like, well, I didn't say anything, I'm just taking notes like a good child, and guess what, I'm dragged into it. But everyone's like, I don't like that class, but I'm like, well, that was the best history course I've ever taken, so I kind of liked it a bit, you know. It wasn't like, oh, wow, this history class it just wasn't as good as some other history classes I've taken. That was the best history class I've ever taken, so there's those points for that class. There was some fun, there was some laughs. He made a lot of movie quotes and just talked about movies a lot, so it's like, yes, movie quotes, yes, movie references, yes, thumbs up. And that was that year! Oh my goodness. So this is probably the best slew of teachers I've had, just because, and I don't know how next year can possibly top this. This was the best year of my life, as in school year, not like January to, you know, year. But, like, I have grown so much this year, and I have been more happy this year than I have freshman or sophomore year. This has just been the best year of my life. Just a few of the highlights: going to Boston in the fall, like that one VeggieTales song, but it had nothing to do with VeggieTales. We might have made the reference once or twice on the trip, but that was an awesome trip. Got to meet one of my friends there. And then spring break, I didn't really, well, I mean, this doesn't have anything to do with my trip, but I got to meet another one of my friends because they were traveling through the area, so that was awesome. And then I got to go on the Hollywood trip this last the few weeks ago, which was the best trip I've ever taken in my life. This year has been so good, and I have made so good, and then some of the vlogs that I'm most proud of have happened this year. I'm just proud of who I am becoming of a person, and I can't wait to see what happens next year. I doubt it'll be as good as this, just because it's a solid 10 out of 10. Like, the next one will probably be like a 7 out of 10, and then maybe like a 6 out of 10 after that, but like, this year was a 10 out of 10, and I don't know how senior year can possibly attempt to tackle this, because a lot of my friends are graduating, so it's gonna be a little bit lonely next year, but I'll find a way to make it work, because it's gonna be a little bit lonely next year, but don't worry, when there's lonely, there's less people, but then you get stronger bonds with those less people, and it's gonna be a good year. Let's be positive about this. It'll be fun. It'll be great. It's gonna be great. Everything's gonna go well. And it's gonna be great. What else can I talk about? What else can I gush about? What else can I have fun talking about with? I got this poster. The Unanimate Insanity Kickstarter happened this year, and that went super well. I was apparently the only person that had faith in it to succeed the entire time, but it succeeded, so none of that mattered. What else happened? I'm trying to look at stuff. Gravity Falls finale, which I really enjoyed. Just lots of stuff. Lots of fun stuff. And I know this didn't technically happen in the school year, but it happened last summer, like when we were going into junior year, so whatever. The Europe trip was 2 weeks of fun right there, just to start off the summer. Don't have that this year, but I am going to learn how to drive, which is scary. I'm learning how to drive next month, and I know everyone's like, well, Michael, you're 17, why don't you drive yet? I'm scared, okay? I don't want to, like, accidentally hit a bus full of children and kill them all, and then that would like hurt me mentally for the rest of my life. I would never be able to live with myself morally. It'll just be awful. But that won't happen and it'll be fine. Anyway, I am gonna go. This was an awesome year. I can't wait to see you guys next year. Thanks for sticking with the vlogs. I have a Hollywood thing planned. Hollywood stuff. Fun. Be great. It's gonna be awesome. Can't wait to make that and show it to you guys, because I love talking about that trip. Like, everyone says, oh, well, Michael, you're talking about it too much. Look at all those pictures that you're just showing to us again. Well, guess what? I'm gonna do that because like, it's so much fun, and I can't wait to show it to you guys as well. Anyway, I'm gonna be off and play my annual summertime is here. Time to play through Super Mario Sunshine. Gonna get out that GameCube and play it, because it's a great game, and it doesn't feel like summer until I play that game. So I will see you guys next time for my senior year, or some various spontaneous vlogs that happen throughout the summer. But next time for this series is going to be next year. I'm gonna be a senior. It's gonna be weird and crazy. It's gonna be great. I'll see you guys then. Goodbye. Thank you all for watching. And have an absolutely amazing summer. Do something that you never thought you would do. You won't regret it. See you guys later. Goodbye. Thank you all for sticking with me for this year. How many teachers are there in this? There's 3, 6, 8, I think. 8. Because there's creative writing, apologetics, government, geometry, Spanish 1, Spanish 2, history, and American literature. That's 8. Almost all of them were great. I'm not gonna say that that's rude.